What's up, guys? So I'll come and tell you guys a story of how I got out of a ticket. Actually, one time this happened back in California. I had just moved out and gone to college, and in California, the way it works, so if you guys watched my other video where I talked about my first speeding ticket I got when I was in high school, like towards the end of my junior year I got one, and went to traffic school for that, got it off my record, so I didn't get a point, my insurance didn't go up. The way it works in California is different than a lot of other states. California is not nearly as forgiving as other states when it comes to getting tickets and how it affects your insurance. So in California, the law was that you could only go to traffic school once every 18 months if you had a moving violation. So if you got like a seatbelt ticket or you got a parking ticket, something like that, that's not a moving violation, then it wasn't, it didn't affect your insurance. You just paid it like a regular, fine or whatever, and it was okay. But if you got, speeding, or you were rolling through a stop sign, or you were driving recklessly or something like that, then, you would get the point on your record. And then, your insurance would go up. Like, your insurance was going to go up, and you're like, damn, like, it sucked. And you can only go to traffic school once every 18 months unless you ask the judge, and the judge had allowed you to, go again. Because I heard a guy I went to high school with who said he got 2 tickets in like 2 months, and the judge allowed him to go each time. But you're only supposed to go once every year and a half. So if you get a ticket, so say you get a ticket, like I did in high school, and I had a ticket, I went to traffic school, got it off my record, so it's fine. If you get another moving violation in the next 18 months, next year and a half, you're not supposed to go to traffic school. So just get the points on your record, then your insurance goes up, and then it just takes, I guess, time for it to go away. I was only like 19 when this one happened, so your insurance, when you're young and male, you have the highest like insurance rates for cars. So it was going to take probably several years for my insurance to come back down, at least until like I turned 25 or something. So the way this happened, I'm in the Bay Area. I'm driving across the Bay, driving to the East Bay, and I'm trying to go back to the Central Valley just to go home for like the week. And I just moved to the Bay Area, like I'd been there less than a month at this point. And I rolled through this stop sign, and the cops saw me, and I pulled over, and I was like, told them what was going on, told them like, yeah, I'm trying to get, to highway like 580 going east. Like, I know it's that way. I was trying to cut through here, just trying to go that direction. Just, just trying to find my way through a neighborhood I don't know, and just got distracted and missed the stop sign. And the guy was like, okay, he wrote me the ticket anyway. The guy was cool about it. He wrote me the ticket. He was, if you want to fight this, you can. He's like, or you just pay it, or you can go to, said fight it and go to the court. It's, your right to do so. I was like, okay, cool. So I get the ticket. I'm like, God, I was like 2 months away from like the 18-month mark. I was so close to it, because by the time I had to go to court, it was going to be after the 18 months, but they go, from ticket to ticket. So it didn't matter that the 18 months would come like after, by the time I finally got into court. It was, it's 18 month window from one ticket to the next, and I was within that window. So I was like, damn. So I remember that semester, my first semester when I was in college, there was a guy in one of my classes who used to work the parking gate at the 49ers stadium over at Candlestick. And I got to go to like 5 49er home games that year. That was when the Niners sucked, but it was still fun to go to the games and watch. So, just like he let me park for free, give his buddy like $20 for security, just let me go into the game and watch is what he would do. And, that guy was in my class. And I remember at one of the games, one time hanging out, once or twice hanging out after the games, I actually get to see some of the players, get a few autographs, which was cool. And one time after a game, I'm hanging out, and I see a couple officers that are hanging, like where the players come out, where they drive out of there. So they've got their security area secured. I started talking to one of the officers just about, I think his job and working the stadium and all that kind of stuff. And I had a question. I said, let me ask you a question. I was like, I don't know if you're like, you're not supposed to answer this or what. I was like, but I guess it's worth a shot. And I said, I got a ticket for rolling through a stop sign out in the East Bay, and I said, I'm trying to get out of this thing. I was like, I got a ticket within the 18 months, so I'd like to not get this ticket, and, is there anything I can do, like, do you think to try to help me get out? And I was like, almost with it, like, almost outside an 18-month window where I could, get another ticket and go to traffic school. And, do you have any, like, suggestion, like, any way I could, try to help my case to get out of the thing, or what I could do? Because I think at that point I'd bought, like, 1 or 2 books about, like, how to get out of a traffic ticket. It talks about, like, asking for an extension, hopefully the mail gets lost in the officer's paperwork, and he, doesn't show up to court or shows up on the wrong day. Because the officer doesn't show up to court, like, your ticket's just dismissed. Like, it's like it never happened. So the officer doesn't show up, and your ticket's dismissed. So, I go through this book about how to try to get it dismissed. you know, filing for an extension, and then, you know, just trying to create more paperwork basically is what you do. Or, you know, and if you do have to go and get questioned in court and do that kind of thing, then, you know, like question you can try to ask to help your case or whatever. So, you know, the cop goes, well, I said you could, you know, call the department and ask for the officer's schedule, is what he said. You know, so if you can, like, go to court, like, you know, during a time he's on his shift, he's like, you know, that might be able to help you. I was like, okay, you know, I'll give it a shot. So, you know, later I go and I call the police station, and I leave a message saying, you know, I'm calling for, you know, see about such and such officer's work schedule, you know, just leave him a voicemail. And then, like, the next day, someone calls me back and leaves me a voicemail. As a lady called me back, so you're calling, you know, to inquire about officer so-and-so, like, I have the information for you. If you want, you know, just give me a call back whenever you get a chance. Give me the number. And I called later, and I said, hey, I called earlier, you know, this so-and-so, this lady left me a message, and I'm just calling back about officer, you know, whatever his name was. And she goes, oh, okay. And she connects me. The lady transfers me and connects me to the officer that gave me the ticket. I was like, oh, hey. It's like, hey, this is Officer, you know, it's Officer Johnson. This is Officer Johnson. I'm like, oh, hi. This is Jacob. And I was like, I was just calling because I had a question about, you know, like my ticket. And, you know, and I told him, and I said, yeah, I got the stop sign ticket out in the East Bay. And he was like, oh, you're the student, right? I said, yeah, the college student just moved to the area, you know, was driving home. He was like, okay, yeah. Because I remember, he goes, well, you know, with the ticket, he said, you can just, you know, you can do, he said, you can just pay it right away if you like, or if you want to go to court, you can fight it, you know, that's no big deal. He said, you can do that, you're well within your right to do so. And, you know, just pretty much choose those two options, and you just go from there. So I said, okay, cool. I think that's all I needed. Just, you know, got a little clarification, and I'm good, thank you. He goes, okay, you know, no problem. The guy was cool about it, but, I hung up and I was like, oh my gosh, and I tried to like play that one off. It was just kind of funny the way it worked out. It was not what I expected, so I was like, crap. I was like, I don't know if that helped my case or not, but, you know, I remember getting an extension for the date, because when they scheduled it, I think my school schedule hadn't come out yet, and then so I filed for the extension, like my class schedule for the semester or something, so filed for the extension, got it moved. And then, you know, went to court, and I remember looking around, like, you know, I don't see this officer here. And after a while, the, you know, judge opened up, and there were probably about 12 of us who, you know, like, if your officer's not here, you don't see him, then, you know, you can go with this gentleman, follow the guy outside. He gave us, I might have given us each, like, a slip or some paper or something. And he was like, yeah, that's it. Your officer didn't show up. He was like, you're free to go. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I was so happy it worked out that way. So, you know, I've talked to some other officers about it. Like, yeah, like, they probably, because, you know, you were cool with the guy. You were nice to him. Then when you called, he was like, you know, yeah, I was like, just a college kid. He's like, whatever. You know, he wasn't like, wasn't going to take his time to come to court, like, make sure, you know, I was, you know, had to pay the penalty and all that. He was like, yeah, I was like, probably just young college kid. He's like, kid screwed up. He's like, whatever, like, not a big deal. So he had some leniency, which was really cool and was, you know, fortunate. But, yeah, that was how I ended up getting out of that ticket, you know. So got away from that ticket, and then haven't had too many others with violations, really. Now here in Nevada, it's so much different than it is in California. It's much more lenient here. But, yeah, I like to tell that story once in a while to people, and they get a kick out of hearing how I was able to get out of my ticket when I was in college. So, you know what? I tried, asked around a bit. Things didn't quite go how I thought they were going to pan out, but then at the end, it all worked out for the better. So I was very happy. So if you guys ever got out of a ticket or something like that, you know, maybe some interesting story about you getting tickets, hey, put it down below. I'd like to read about it. Everybody else probably would like to, you know, hear it too. So that's this video, guys. I will see you in the next one.